Good Monday evening, everybody. I'm Manny Vitelli, host of My Fight or War, coming at you from Detroit, Michigan. And with me, as always, OG thing. And we don't have to do that side stuff and all that stuff. We just have to do a little click of the button. Yeah. And there she is.
Hello.
So we got a little bit of OG, we got a little bit of thing, we got a little bit of everything going on.
All right.
So I hope you guys had a good weekend. I know that's right, Detroit Lions.
Yay!
We had a good time with our sports team, with all the stuff the Lions over the past years. Oh, good Lord. But you always, man. Oh, gee, I tell you. But anyways, tonight we have a very special guest, man. My brother, Tyler Thomason, he was on once before, and he has done so much. And the things that he's doing now and that he's taking on as just incredible. So he had to come back on. Yeah. So with that being said, OG, see ya.
Bye.
Tyler, there you are, brother. How you doing, Tyler?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you kidding, man. Man, you and Ty and everybody have just been incredible. I haven't talked to Ty in a while. Got to catch up with her. And
she's busy like always.
Gotta tell you, that girl is just nonstop. But make sure you tell her we said hi. And
I will.
I'll tell you, man, and I just want to, thank you, man. You are always popping on with comments and support, and it's definitely appreciated, man.
That's what we do in our recovery family.
You know what? You just nailed it. That's what we do. We support, we motivate, and we're there. And you are a prime example of that. So, but anyways, man, we just even though that you were on before, man, we're going to just recap everything and let everyone know first of all, where you're from, man. Let everyone, where are you coming from now? You're in Georgia?
Yeah, I'm in Georgia. My hometown is Chatsworth, Georgia. It's the northern part of Georgia. But to get clean, I moved to Cartersville, Georgia, which is a little bit south from there.
Okay. Well, I tell you, man, since the last time we talked, you've been a busy man.
Oh, yeah, it's been crazy.
But you know what? And it all stems from, what we've dealt with in the past. And, we've all got stories with addiction. So, let's, just jump right in, man. And so you're living in Georgia and all that. How old were you we'll just jump right into when everything started, man, with the drugs, with addiction and all that. How old were you when this all started up?
I was 15 when I first smoked pot.
Okay. So from there, what did that was like? You always hear about gateway drugs and started this and into that. So from there, what did that carry on to?
And then from there, it kind of went as we got older. Then the drinking like alcohol come out and all that, and we was doing it every weekend, passed out everywhere, just all the crazy stuff.
And you said that was 15 you started?
Yeah.
Okay, so drinking and smoking dope and all that, but what was like the harsh? What all did you jump into as far as what was the
hard stuff? Was my main drug of choice was meth.
Okay,
and I dabbled with pain pills too.
How old were you when you started with the meth?
19.
19.
Yep.
Okay, how did that all come about? What led you down that road?
Pretty much, I was at a party, we was drinking and everything, and all of a sudden somebody, you know how it is when you get drunk, and then somebody pulls something out, and they're like, hey, try this, and you're just like, oh, of course, heck yeah, I'll try it. And it just, I tried it one time, and it just grabbed me,
Okay, so that's just like right from day one, man. That first one, and that it grabbed you that quick and fast, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Man, okay. And with that, how I know you said like the drinking and smoking, you said you and the boys all got together and that was a weekend event. How about with with the meth? How often was that going on?
Oh God, from 19 to 33 when I decided to quit, it was nothing but meth every day. Like
Every day. Wow.
yeah.
Oh man. Okay. How about with something like that every day, man? That can get pretty pricey.
Oh
What were
yeah.
you? How much was
Well,
that costing you?
the problem with that was was I become like really good friends with the main source, and they're just like, "Oh, take this home with you. Here's you some more. Take this home with you." And then, so I never had to pay for it really.
Yeah, yeah, and now those are our friends, right? Those are
Yeah,
our friends.
friends.
And so with this here, man, I know with some people, you hear their stories, and all these different stories and different upbringing and stuff like that. Some people, they'll hear stories and they're like, well, with their family situation, it could be my dad, brother, sister, all were into drugs, so it was like you were born and it was like right there. Doesn't
Right.
sound. Was that something like with you? Was with your family? Was
Honestly,
anyone?
honestly, no. Like my dad was on meth for a little bit, but like it was never in front of us. It was just something I just, like I said, when it started with marijuana, it was just something like I was just curious to try, like not
Okay.
thinking it was going to end up like it did.
Yeah, yeah. So we always hear how gateway drug. How sometimes you start with something that like the weekend or recreational and all this, and how
Yeah.
like you said, man, it just rolls into something else, and that kind of sounds like that's what happened to you, man.
Oh yeah.
And so anyone else in your family besides you? I know you just said your dad. That was there any other issues with that in your family or anything like that?
Yeah, it's pretty much it. My dad, me, my brother, brother. Thank God he didn't go through that. Thank God. I got a sister that did like, and she's I want to say close to 3 months clean now.
All right, man. Congratulations.
Yep.
I tell you, that's awesome. With everything going on, I know that we all have these tragedies. When we talk about this, I mean, just dealing with it alone, it is harsh enough. And the things that happen to ourselves. And
Yeah.
like I said, this is stuff. I mean, whatever. Anyone who comes on the show, I mean, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about, or you don't. If there's something that you don't want to, that's uncomfortable, you don't have to talk about it. But I know the last time we talked, it was about someone very close to you who unfortunately didn't make it.
Yeah.
And
That was my wife.
I know that I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that, to share your story about that at all, and it's up to
Oh
you.
yeah, I can share a little bit about it.
Well, I tell you, why don't you share that about her and about how you guys first met and how getting involved was that how that whole thing started going up until what happened. So go ahead and roll with that.
Right. See, when we first met, I was 23, so I'd done been partying like really hard, and she was older. She was 29, so like, and her drug of choice was pain pills, opiates. Like, and what ended up getting her was it was when fentanyl first hit the streets real bad. They was coming off with, and they was the Roxy 30s, looked just like a Roxy 30, but what it was is it was pressed with fentanyl, and she
Jeez.
didn't know, and she ended up taking one, and not waking up.
Wow.
Just like that, man. Just like that.
Yep.
It's like when they say it's just like Russian roulette, man. It really, really is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And, so how long
And
were
that's
you
what
guys?
got me wanting to quit meth too, because they was cutting it with fentanyl. Like,
Everything, man. I mean, you name it,
yeah,
they're putting it in there. And I've heard people talking. And they're like, well, and almost making excuses and almost like, well, it's out there and it is out there, but you know what? We know who we're getting it from, and we know. It's like, no, you don't. You
yeah,
don't. And just like last I checked, the drug dealers and all that, they're not going to these accredited pharmaceutical colleges getting their code of ethics and their all that shit. They're getting what they get to make the money, and they don't give a shit where, that's coming from. And but how long were you and your wife? How long were you together? How long were you a couple?
8 years.
Wow.
8 years. Now,
Yep.
were you using the whole time?
Yeah.
That she was as well.
Yeah. She didn't do meth. Like her thing was pain pills.
That was her main thing, huh?
Yeah.
And see, and that's another thing, Tyler. And this is, perfect having you on, man. People will sit there and they'll listen to this and they're like, well, meth. And they're looking at you like, man, she's taking meth. She was only taking pain pills. The thing is, that's how it's looked at, unfortunately, because pain pills, because it's like you get it from the doctor. And it's a script, and then it's a pill. It's not being shot up. It's not this. But as we just heard, man, it's just as freaking deadly. It's just as deadly.
Yeah, it can take not even one pill can kill somebody.
One pill, man. And like you just said too, you don't know what it's in. You can't see it. You can't smell it. You can't taste it.
Yeah.
Man. So you guys were together 8 years?
Yeah.
Man, how long ago did she pass?
This was October 3rd, 2020.
Man, I'm sorry, man. I'm sure that were you guys were you with her at the time? Was she at home? Were you with her?
She was at home, and like it would have probably it affected me hard anyway. But I had decided that night to come down here to spend the night with my dad, and that's when it happened.
Oh,
man! And how? Who was it that found her, and who notified
her grandmother?
I'm sorry.
Her grandmother.
Oh man, unbelievable! That had to be one very, very shocking, upsetting phone call, man. And
oh yeah, I'll tell everybody, I couldn't remember nothing like the first year after that happened. Like it was like a shock.
No, I can imagine. Something like that. I mean, it's hard to hard to explain. You don't know how someone's going to react. You don't know how you're going to react hearing something like that. But when you did hear that, obviously you were still using it that time, or no?
Oh yeah,
you were.
And it got worse from there.
I was just going to say that. I was, because a lot of times you hear people they use for different reasons, and basically with us addicts, it's all excuse, man. I use because I'm in pain. I use because I'm lonely. I use because it's Thursday. Whatever. But something as tragic as what happened to you. You want to mask that pain at any cost, and unfortunately, with that,
and as addicts, that's the only way we know to do. Like,
exactly. So, did it increase from that moment on?
Oh yeah, big time.
What happened with your fam? I mean, this whole time when you started, like you said, 15 years old, started, with weed and drinking and all that. Was there any time where your family or your dad, family, friends, or anyone kind of pulled you aside and they were like, "Hey, Tyler, listen, man, I mean, not so much." And it's almost
my dad tried, but I'm as stubborn as he is.
Yeah, I hear that. What about rehab? Anything like that? Were there any stints in rehab or anything? Or
no, I did a little bit of county jail time, and I would quit. While I was in there, and I was like, I'm not doing nothing in here, and it was like I would the only way I can explain it is it was like I wasn't ready. Like I was while I was still locked up, I was like, oh, I'm gonna quit as soon as I get out and everything. And then it was like as soon as I walked out them doors, it was like I went right back to it. Like
it was right there. Now, while you were locked up, were there any type of anything for anybody in there as far as counseling or any programs at all while you were locked up that you could take part of? Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Do your time.
Yep.
See, And that's the thing too, man. We hear all the time about, people who get locked up. And I've had people say, well, what about rehab? Well, yeah, rehab. It wasn't by my choice. It was when they decided to arrest me.
Yeah.
And, so a lot of people, but, sometimes that's the longest people have been clean, while being locked up. But without getting the proper, care and all that, it's basically cold turkey going in, dealing with it. And so what was the longest you were clean for up until now? When you said that whole time from 15 on, what was the longest you were clean for?
8 months when I was locked up that last time.
That was the longest?
Yeah, until now.
Okay. Now I remember we were talking and kind of it's a little sketchy about something happened to you, and it was one night that changed the way you were thinking and the way you felt about drugs. Wasn't that you was talking, then you called your dad?
Yeah, that story, I was at the dope man's house, and when I mean partying, I'd been up probably 6 or 7 days. And when you're in that state, you're in your head, completely in your head. And I was just thinking to myself, I don't know what come over me, but it was I just thought to myself, you know what? I'm done with this lifestyle. And then I sat there a little longer and I picked up my phone and I told my dad, hey, Dad, you need to come up here and get me. I'm done with it.
How many times? And I know, I don't know your answer, but I know for myself, how many times I've said that in the past, this is it. This is it. Yeah. I've had so many this is it moments where I'll hear people say, well, it's not done until it's that rock bottom. Well, shit. I've had so many rock bottoms and then rock bottom, then rock. Yeah, the rock bottom is so, when you told your dad that night, how many times did he think, yeah, okay, well, here we go again. He's, or could he tell that? You ever done that before? Where that intent?
He asked me. He said, "Are you sure you're ready for this? Because you know what's coming when you decide to quit all the way. The withdrawals is going to be hectic.
Your dad said
and
that.
All I need to do is stay in the bed and keep myself from everybody.
Okay, and so your dad kind of gave you the, you sure, and gave you that little. So that thank God that your dad was there to do that. So God bless him for that. And so when you came home, like you said, you knew what was coming. You knew what was next. And why don't you explain for people who have never had to deal with any type of the withdrawal symptoms, no one who had to deal with what you went through. Why don't you kind of give some people an insight of exactly what you felt and how long it lasts?
Well, for me, it was a lot on how much of the meth I was doing, because I was putting a lot in my body, a whole lot. And it took me, the first 3 months to me was pure health. I was sick, sweating, shaking. My insides felt like it was going to come out. It was crazy.
Oof. Okay, and now you said for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's a long time, brother.
Yeah.
So now what were you doing this whole time, man? I mean, for 3 months is a long time to be going through that. I mean, how were you functioning otherwise as far as what were your daily activities? What were you doing for
really? Because of how much weight, the first 3 months, because of how much weight I'd lost on the meth, I'd have been lucky to weigh 130 pounds, soaking wet.
Wow.
And so all I did them first 3 months was I did nothing but eat and sleep and drink water. That's all I could do.
And that was I was surprised you were able to. I'm surprised you were able to keep anything down. So
it was very small bites at a time.
Okay. Well, so for 3 months, man, I mean, were you when you got home, man, I mean, we'll just start from scratch. When your dad came and got you home that night, let's go, for the next few days, did you even get out of bed? I mean, what Were you able
Well,
to
I
do it?
did because how meth works, like it stays in your system, like it makes you stay up for days. Like it really hadn't hit me yet. Like I wouldn't really
Oh, okay.
until it wore all the way off.
And you said as much as you were doing
Oh
quite a
yeah,
bit. So even though you were up, you said you were up for approximately 7 days at that point.
oh yeah. When I decided to
Yeah.
quit, I was up 7 days.
And now, sometimes you hear these stories about the lifestyle and the people that are in our lives at that time. And sometimes they're not the nicest people in the world, and, you say something like that around the wrong people,
Oh,
and you might get some different reactions. Some of it can be
Max is
violent.
trying to get in the camera.
Hey, you give Max, and for those of you who don't know who Max is, you want to give Max a little showtime?
Max, look,
There, Max. Hey, Max. You
he's
know
trying
what?
to lay on top of me.
Hey, you know what? Let him go, man. I tell you what, we got with My Fight Our War, we are starting to be known as the pet-friendly family because
Oh
we've
yeah.
got, of course, I got Susie under the table right now with our music and mayhem with my brother Skylar Ray. He's
Hey,
got
he's
Pound Cake.
awesome too.
I tell you, just like you, Tyler, and the people that I have been so blessed to meet in this amazing family of ours. Over January 9th, coming up, will be 2 years for My Fight or War. And,
Go ahead.
and we, the people that I've met, you, Skylar, I mean, just all of them, just, you talk about just amazing people, man. And,
Oh yeah.
And you said it right at the beginning. We're here for each other. We support each
Oh
other.
yeah.
We motivate each other because we know what this dark, evil, empty life that addiction is. And,
Oh yeah. Like when you feel like you don't have nobody, that's what the drugs do. It makes you feel like you don't have nobody but yourself. Like
you just nailed it. You are alone, and the thing is, you with us. You're never alone. But
yeah.
you just nailed it. Addiction is so evil. It will put in your mind that no one cares, no one
Yeah.
loves you. You are alone. This is hopeless. It's never going to get better. All of this, that's addiction. But
Yeah.
addiction kind of ran into a brick wall when it ran into us because we don't fuck around. And
Yeah.
enough of this sugarcoating shit. Enough of this, talking nice and trying to be socially, right as far as what's said and that. Addiction doesn't give a shit, and it's not sugarcoating how it kills us and loved ones. So we gotta attack addiction the way addiction attacks us, and that's nose to nose, face to face, and just kicking the shit. It's a war. It's down,
Yeah.
dirty, ugly, and you know what? When we got people who are hurting, we do what we can, whatever it takes to help. And
Yeah.
you're a prime example of that, man. I see your name up here along with all the other mans, with Mickey, with Ty, with Ants, with my brother Boston, all of them that are up here. And it's just because we are part, I've said it many times, we are part of this elite, just, fraternity of just champions, man. And that's you, brother. Yeah. And, we talked about when you were on before that you wanted to start doing your own show. And you want to start coming on and all that. Well, just to let you guys know that that's put on hold right now. But it's not put on hold because Tyler's not pursuing it because of being lazy or putting it off or anything like that. Tyler's putting it off because he's got something else up his sleeve that he's been busting his ass. And I want to let Tyler talk about that. So that being said, my brother, why don't you let everyone know what you're doing now and when you started and how you even got into this?
Well, I started doing MMA. Well, I originally started boxing and taking jujitsu classes. And then I don't know, like me and you was talking months and months back about me wanting to start MMA. Mm-hmm. And then I found out there was a boxing and kickboxing gym down here, like right up above where I live at. And so I actually talked myself into walking through the door, and then it's like they can't keep me out of there now. Right? I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's that just you know what? Just like with addiction, that first step towards recovery, you took that first step for MMA, man. When did you start? How long ago? What day? When did this all
It's
begin?
2 months now. I've been doing it.
3 months already.
2 months.
2 months. 2 months.
Yeah.
I tell you, man. I remember when you brought it up. And, we were just talking, just about different things that we wanted to pursue. We were talking about me and you being on the show. And while we were talking about that, that's when you brought up about, hey, listen, man, I was thinking about doing a show, and we were just chit-chatting about that. And then all of a sudden you brought up the MMA stuff, but you were more intense, with the podcast part. So you really weren't talking as much. And then that's why all of a sudden I noticed the conversation about the podcast was kind of going down. But then, boom, MMA, look out, man. So where are you at? Who are you training with? Let's give a shout out to some people.
It's they're called Pulso Fitness. They are freaking amazing. Like, they really put in the work to train you all the way like you're supposed to be trained. Like,
okay, so what do they got? Like when you go in there now, let's say, like, you didn't have any previous training, did you?
no, none ever.
So when you walk in that door day one, and you're like, listen, I want to do this. I'm sure they got the different levels and all that stuff where they have you start here doing that and all that introductory and everything like that. Like how many days a week you going? How many hours? And what's your training like?
The first month I started out like 1 time a week, and then now I do 3 times a week. So I'm kind of building my body up to it.
Hey, that's all right. So you're there 3 days a week. How long are you there for?
About an hour and a half.
Okay.
It's a bunch of jump ropes and God, it's
so that
and the setups with the big medicine balls, man.
Oh. Yeah, well, let's just say sit-ups have never been my friend, and I can tell you right now, without even blinking, my last sit-up that I ever did was in 1994.
Yeah, look at this guy.
I tell you that because that's when I graduated from the Detroit Police Academy, and we had to do sit-ups all day, all for months and months in the academy. And after I got out of the academy, I made it a point to never do another sit-up. But
and then as we're coming up from the setup, we're lifting that medicine ball over our head and bringing it back down and going back down. And that first set I did that day, like the second day, I was feeling great when I woke up. But that next day I woke up and I couldn't even lift my arm to turn the doorknob.
I tell you what, I've never trained. I mean, as far as like the MMA, I did help train an MMA fighter many moons ago.
Max,
but
sorry, y'all.
You let Max be, boy. And
sorry, Max got in the way.
You're good. But I train. I've been weight training for over 30 years in the gym, and I used to train people as well. And I tell you what, I get people in there, and I'd be busting their ass, and I tell them,
oh yeah,
listen, I'd have them in there for an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes, and I tell them, listen, don't quit on me. And because the first week, they got the adrenaline going, the endorphins are going, they're feeling great, and they're like, man, I love you, man, this is feeling great, and I'm just like, trust me, you are not going to be saying this in a week. You are
fixing to hate me in a couple of days.
I tell you what, I had people coming in these nice, and I trained all ages and male, female, all that. They come in, they're like, I fucking hate you. I had this one guy. He's like, man, he goes, first of all, he goes, I couldn't. He goes, I could not sit down on the toilet. He goes, I couldn't sit. He goes, and then my arms were killing me. He goes, I couldn't wipe my ass.
That's the way I was.
Yeah, I tell you, man. And but God bless you, man. It does, and I'm sure right now, when you look at where you are now, and too much is too much. So God bless you for doing it. And kicking
Man,
ass.
I finally got my first busted nose the other day.
Well,
That guy was quick with the jabs. Like I'm talking about, had a really quick jab, and he popped me with 3 before I could even get my guard back up. And like I'm talking about, I'm pouring, and I didn't know at the time. And like I was wondering why the guy was looking at me while we kept going. He was looking at me like
he's like, your nose is going this way. And,
yeah. But yeah, other than that, like it's probably the funnest thing I've ever did in my life.
Yeah, and the thing is too, with addiction, let's not forget, man, this is the thing that controlled our thoughts, controlled our moods, controlled everything, man. And it got, because of addiction, that would be up to addiction when we'd get up, when we went to bed, if we went to bed, going, if we ate, and addiction controlled our lives and all that. Now you, my man, you are controlling everything. Now you make the rules. Now your addiction is MMA and doing all these positive things, man. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
So with this here, what are you looking at as far how long? I mean, I know you said you were looking at different levels and different things that you were doing as far as MMA with kickboxing and all that. What else are you going to be training? What else are you going to be doing?
I'm going to do Brazilian jiu-jitsu too.
Okay.
Wow.
That way I know what to do when somebody takes me to the ground. Like,
so it's like a lot of grappling and a lot of holds, a lot of moves and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, when you look back now, I mean, it's been 2 months that you've been doing this, and I can tell by just seeing your post and then our texting and our messages and all that, and just I can just see and you can just feel the change.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm so happy for you, man, and proud of you. I mean, for what you're doing, and you're just proof, man, that as we all have said and keep saying, that addiction is not a death sentence. It's not, and it's something that and again, with the limitations, look at you, man. Now, just think, if someone would have told you a couple of years ago, hey, Tyler, man, you're going to be doing these sit-ups with this medicine ball, and you're going to be doing this, and this, and you're going to be going 3 times a week, you probably would have thought they were crazy.
I would have laughed in their face, probably. Like,
and the fact that you're looking forward to it, and it's something you get up. It's like, hey, listen, man, tomorrow's Tuesday, man. We got MMA, we got training, we're doing sparring and all these things. It gets that blood pumping, man. And
my mind busy. Like,
what's that?
I said, and it keeps my mind busy. Like, MMA is very fast paced.
Fast paced. And the thing is, people sometimes get a little bit when they see it, or just like boxing in general. It's just, you just sit there and it's just violence and controlled violence in a controlled situation, and you're just teaching people to punch people and beat people up. And there's so much more to it. There's
it's fighting like that is more of a mental thing than it is like you got to train physically, but it's a lot of mind things too. Like.
And the discipline. In fact, when we get done here, there's a friend of mine, Coach Dave, out of Danbury, Connecticut. I was on his show. He was on mine. In fact, we're flying out to New York and Connecticut in a couple of weeks, and I want to be seeing Coach. And he's in there with AJ Galante, who.
Oh man!
I don't know if you ever saw. The Sopranos, and all that. There was a lot of stuff as far as the family and all that stuff. With the Danbury Trashers, there's it's on the net. It's on Netflix. It's called Crimes and Penalties. It's about a hockey team. That's AJ, and
okay.
He was the owner of that team at 17 years old. The Danbury Trashers. There was a professional hockey team. And I played hockey all my life. So we right there have that in common. And he's actually going to be on my show. I'm going to be on his show. And but him and Dave have a boxing academy.
Yeah.
And they've got fighters from kids, amateurs to pros.
And let me just tell you, some of them kids are freaking amazing. Like,
yeah. Now, as far as kid, what's like the ages at your gym? What's the youngest you see?
I seen an 8-year-old boxing, and I'm telling you, this kid was so good. Like, he would have blew through most of the adults, like as far as the training side of it. Like, and I'm just like, how is this kid going this hard? Like,
that, and he's probably been training for years. And at 8 years old, God
oh
bless
yeah,
him. And the thing is, too, again, you get people who don't know any better. They may be thinking you're just teaching that kid to be a bully. That's just the opposite. If you wanted to, man, I'd love to introduce you to Coach Dave out of.
that would be awesome.
He, like I said, he is doing an academy where they got pro fighters, man. These guys are ranked. They're doing sanctioned fights, pro fights, and but now
that's what I'm wanting to get into, like big time.
Well, yeah, I tell you what, I'd be more than happy to introduce you to them and have you talk to them. But they've got so many different things, and we were talking about just the art of boxing, the training, the discipline,
yes, it's insane.
The mindset is that what you have, and because we talked about the same thing, and I'm sure people talk to you, it's like, well, you're just teaching, it's just violence, and it's that. No, you're missing it. You're missing the discipline.
No, it's to keep. Yeah, to me, I don't know. It's like it's showing you how to keep your mind clear, and so you can think clear in that kind of situation if it does happen. Like,
that's what he was saying too. And these young kids, he's getting some of these kids, and it's not only kids. When you're dealing with, especially people with like us that are dealing with addiction and all that, sometimes we're dealing with stuff that our as far as our attitudes and all that, you feel very, what's the word I'm looking for is right, demeaning and all that stuff, where people look at you differently and everything, and like you're not as good as these people, and their self-esteem is so low. You know what? And you get some of these kids who are getting bullied, and people are like, well, you're just teaching them to fight. Well, no, what you're doing is teaching them discipline and all that. So now they're coming in and you're building up their physical being, their mental being, and not only that, but their self-esteem. They feel good about themselves. They're not sitting home in front of a computer playing freaking, they're in their training with people that are their age, that are older, that are teaching. Yeah, and it's just showing, that there are no limits. I say that all the time. The only limits that we have are the limits that we put upon ourselves. Yeah. And you see it with these kids, man. And so that's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you, man, as far as doing this. And like I said, you could just see the drive and all that in you. And that's just a great thing. And but it's just proof, because I'm sure, we all got haters, and I'm sure there were probably people in your life that when you said, you know what, this is it, I'm done. And they're like, oh yeah, we've heard Tyler say that before. Yeah, did you hear that? Tyler said he's done again or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, I love those ones because, you prove someone wrong, but you do it for the right reasons. You're not doing it for anyone but yourself. And but the best part is when it gets down to a time where you're sitting there, and maybe it's you when you're sitting home and after you got your nose busted all up and you're sitting there and you're like, wait a minute, man, I just got my shit kicked out of me, but I am doing all these things.
I'm happy about it.
Oh yeah, man, I tell you, but you're accomplishing these things and goals that, people first of all thought maybe you'd never be clean. And then when you throw in, well, now Tyler's doing MMA. So, again, props to you, man. That's awesome.
I got a question.
The way I've seen it, addiction kicked my ass worse than anybody can. So,
yeah, but then you kicked addiction's ass. But so, do you ever see any of the people that you used to play with meth, and to see how the changes come? Have they seen?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, and I've ran into people, like I go see my family that's in my hometown,
Yeah.
And now I've seen like people that I run around and did meth with, they're actually in recovery. So like,
Great.
it just blows my mind. Like,
and the thing is, that's good. I mean, not only obvious for obvious reasons, but once you see that, man, and now they're looking at you as they see that. Yeah, you could be clean. You can get clean, get sober, and all that.
Look, Tyler.
But there's more. There's more to it, man. Because now,
and you can still have fun clean.
Oh, I tell you what. I remember when I found out I was going to live. That was the only time I was afraid because it was like, but they said you don't ever look at alcohol again ever, and I was like, well, shit. That's all I know. How am I going to live? How am I going to exist? That's all I know. And here it is. It's going on in January. It'll be 5 years, and I'm having a freaking riot. I'm having a riot. And just like that was a meme a friend of mine sent me. He said, she's like, I saw this and made me think of you. And it said, in alcohol's defense, I've done some pretty fucked up shit, perfectly sober.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, but and the thing is, the people that you hung with, man, they're seeing the positive gains that you're making, and you're basically being a mentor to them. Yeah. So that's great, man. And then the kids, and just showing, and who knows, man, what lies in store for you besides doing this. There's no reason you still can't do your podcast and all that. Hell, you could have your podcast about your MMA career.
That's right.
Yeah.
Help people out, get them on that first step, because just like podcasts, for me, it was like, I had no idea what I'm doing. So I would ask and learn and all that. So now, man, your whole platform could be doing podcasts and helping people with MMA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how long have you been clean, actually?
2 years.
2 years?
2 years.
All right.
Yep. October made 2 years.
October what?
The 6th. Yeah, October 6th.
All right. So you just had your anniversary, man. Congratulations.
Wow. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, man, we've all, these milestones, and that goes for everybody. And I'm looking over here at our board over here with everybody, with Nikki and Handsome. I tell you what, I've been following your stuff as far as with Skylar. And I reached out to, sorry, man, I'm not seeing shit. It's just Susie around. He's like, what the hell's he at? But King Handsome, man, I've seen a lot of the stuff that you got going on, man. And looking forward to chatting with you too. Nikki, everybody who's
Angela's here, Heidi, Amanda.
Any of you guys, actually, Ange is from New Zealand. And she did MMA, and she's going to be coming on with her story. So, I mean, we still have a little bit of time here left going on, man. If anyone has a question for Tyler, for me, or for OG, or for Max, or for Susie, and something like that, anything as far as that whole lifestyle, what he's doing, or anything with that, there you go, Ange. But say proud ass. But yeah, so Anne's gonna be coming on too, man, because she's got a story too with MMA and stuff like that. And
that is awesome.
Yeah. So
do you have many women in your class?
Yeah, actually. There's this little Spanish woman, let me just tell you. Mm-hmm. I would hate to make her mad.
She tear you up, huh?
Oh man, like the way she punches the heavy bags, like it sounds like a shotgun going off, and I'm just like, holy.
So right now, I can say Tyler right now, man. First Caesar, he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" So I was like, "Whack." This ain't gonna happen. But that's cool, man. So and that's like Coach we were talking about that. How having everyone together, because I was asking, it's like, do you break it down certain days and all that? He goes, no, man, we get everyone together. And of course,
it's like a big, huge family. Like, that's what it's like.
Yeah. And he said, these kids are seeing, kids that are like the division up or something like that. But then they're seeing like the adults, the amateurs, the pros. So these little kids that are sitting there wanting to do this, they're seeing, with hard work, with dedication, what happens. The same goes for you. So, these kids are going to be watching you, and you're going to be the idol for these kids, man. So you got a lot going on, brother. You got a lot happening. Good. Out of that, what else we got?
Well, Ange just wrote in, I guess her husband is using meth or has you. What can I do to help my husband?
Just husband?
Yeah. I think that's what
do you,
because she says, what can I do to help
Tyler,
my husband?
do you have, for someone, it's not her, it's her husband is using, do you have any advice for someone to help out, or what they should do, or anything helpful hints at all?
Yeah, Brian said,
Honestly, just be there for that person. That's all you can do.
Be there for him.
Yeah.
You know what? And that is so true, because I've had people ask me, they're like, Manny, what should I say? What shouldn't I say? What should I do? What shouldn't I do? And the bottom line is, do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And, it sounds very generic and it sounds very open-ended, but that's what it is. Because, do something. The worst thing you can do is nothing
Is to give up on him. That is the worst thing you can do.
And you know what? And for those who are sitting there, who are family, friends of people that are dealing with addiction, who are saying, listen, I've done everything. I've been there. And trust me, I know, because the people that I have hurt when I was in active addiction, and the hurtful things that I said and did, and then now being clean and sober and all that, it's just like, you got these people that are so happy and proud of you. But we have to, face, there are going to be family and friends who those bridges are burned and they can't be repaired. Yeah. Some people we have hurt so bad that even though we're clean and they're happy, we have said and done things that just can't be fixed. And, and that happens. But the thing is, it's not their fault, because I've actually had people, I had a guy say to me one time, he goes, I'm clean now. And he goes, but he was battling for over 30 some years. Wow. And it was ugly. It was very ugly. A lot of very painful, physical, emotional, spiritual. He hurt at people just like we all do on so many levels. Yeah. And then when he got cleaned up, he was actually getting so pissy and shitty with some of his family. They were happy for him because he was clean. Well, he was like, well, wait a minute. They should be, like celebrating me. And during holidays, they're not inviting me over. During this, they're done, but they're happy for him. But he was, it's like, listen, that's, so like I said, some bridges can't be repaired. And for them, it's like, and I have been very blessed with my family and friends. There's a situation with someone that I was extremely close with. He was like my brother. And unfortunately, we were inseparable for almost 30 years, man. And we don't talk. And it really hurts me. But and then I was looking back at it. It's just like, well, look at me now, and and that. But and it is what it is, and I just accept that and move on. But you're right though. The thing you can do is sometimes nothing. So when I say nothing, is you don't have to say something. Sometimes just sitting there, listen. Yeah,
just sitting there and not saying a word to each other. That's all that person needs sometimes. Like,
yes, man, just to sit. I mean, if you're somewhere in a situation where maybe like us, different states, but it's like I'm having a bad time here, man. A phone call, a text, but just seeing someone, just seeing you, and that talk could help someone so much. And just seeing, that someone is there. And that's why for all of us in My Fight or War, and it's not just us, it's all of the other amazing families that are out there. That's why we're here. So Tyler nailed it when he said addiction makes you feel alone. And we're not. Tyler is right there. Tyler has reached out to many people and has talked to many people. I've seen Tyler on a lot of different shows. I've seen him with the Sober Patrol, with our friend Kat. God bless Kat, and the stuff she's doing, and all of the other shows. And you're right there. So I mean, it's just being there, helping, listening, whatever it takes.
This is the family that will be able to support you.
Yeah. So Ange, I know that that's a pretty generic thing. I wish I wish there was a magic word.
Mhm.
I wish there
Me
was
too.
something that we could do to make everything better. Unfortunately, there's not, except for what Tyler said. Just be there, and know that this is a terrible disease. This is something that when you're looking at that loved one, know that they are not, they're hurting. They're, even though they're saying hurtful things, man, they are hurting, and it's from the addiction. And
Yeah.
you know,
But Tyler, when you were at your lowest, it was very good that you reached out to your dad. And
yeah,
your dad
Oh,
was
yeah.
still there for you. See, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
may have tried to talk you out of it for maybe years,
Yeah, and
months, weeks, whatever.
he's even been there for me when like I was like at my lowest way before I even decided to quit. Like he may have not have agreed with what I was doing, but
he was there for you.
That you knew
yeah.
he was always there.
You know
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Tell you, give your dad a big shout out from all of us here in Detroit, man,
Yeah.
because
I will.
he sounds like an awesome guy.
Absolutely.
And to all the dads,
Yeah.
to all the moms, to
Mhm.
all the family
yeah.
members and friends who have put up with what we've done. I just want to, for me, thank you guys for being there for us. And if anything, seeing the result now, looking at, me and Tyler and all of us that are in, thank God, recovery. And now all of the pain and terrible things that you saw us deal with. And then unfortunately, when they say you hurt the ones you love, man, some of the things that I remember saying and doing to people who were my family and friends that loved me, it makes me sick. And, but you know what? We're here, brother. And
Oh,
you're
yeah.
doing amazing stuff. And I'm so happy for you. You and
Thank
me.
you, brother.
But you know what? We want to keep in touch as far as like your progression with your MMA.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I really want to keep an eye on you and just see how you're doing. Feel free, man. Drop us some pictures.
Mhm.
And
Oh, I will.
of you and your teammates and all the people that you're training with and all that stuff, man. And
I will.
shout out to some of your coaches and everything. But I definitely really appreciate it, man. You got we still got some time here, man. You got anything that you want to end with, or anything you want to share with anybody?
You've got a few more minutes.
No, I'm pretty much good right now.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I really do appreciate it, brother. And like I said, not just coming on the show. I mean, you're welcome on this show anytime, man. Everyone,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
this is this is our family. This
Yeah.
this is what we do. But not only that, but every time I come on, man, we see you on here with your kind words,
Mhm.
and I just want you to know it doesn't go. It's not unnoticed.
Yeah.
And it's noticed by a lot of people. They
Oh,
do
yeah.
appreciate you. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank y'all.
All right. Well,
There goes your voice.
Yeah, I swear to God, here we go again.
Mine too.
Tell old Max boy, tell Max hi from Detroit, and he gets his airtime as well. And but Tyler, I love you, man, and all the
I love
best.
you, brother.
And we will be talking soon.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you take care, man.
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Right. There you go, OG. Well, I tell you, it's been a while since we saw Tyler. He was on months ago. And like I said, we were talking about back then, his focus was wanting to do podcasts.
Mhm.
I mean, we were talking in the green room. We were talking after we did the show about mics, cameras, lights, and all that. He was really getting into it. And, and all of a sudden it kind of dropped.
Uh-oh.
We're like, okay, well, what things happen. Well, then all of a sudden the MMA started coming up, and we talked a few times, and then some of his posts and the pictures, and just seeing the look in his face.
But the thing about the progression from 14 years
of
heavy meth use,
heavy, and he, as he said,
every day.
He was pumping a lot of meth into his body, and so God bless you, man. And to all everyone I seeing on here for Danny and Katie and Ange And I don't know.
Boston came on. I don't know if he's still on.
Yeah.
Caleb, Lori, Brenda,
Let's
Amy,
see.
Tricia, Nikki.
I am busy getting my cells. I just got bit.
Uh-oh.
Man, she teared my foot up.
Uh-oh. She must be hungry.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. All these were just Nikki and
Tricia,
Caleb,
Mm-hmm.
Ty,
And Brenda. A lot of our future podcasters are on here tonight. This is really nice.
Rhonda, all of you, man.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, we always like to let people know that you are not being ignored. Sometimes some of the comments will show up on the next to the screen here on a monitor, but sometimes the only ones that I'll see OG's got on the side there.
Yeah, I'm trying to respond. You'll see.
So yeah, she'll be responding, but if anytime there's questions, comments, or concerns that you want to get out there, that's something that's more than just a wave or how you doing.
I'll break into the
She
conversation.
will definitely, yes. So no one will ever be ignored. If you have a question or a comment or a concern, that's please get a hold of OG, message me. We are definitely getting very busy, but I promise you, I will get back to you. It may take a little bit of time, but yeah, definitely hit us up. Trust me, no one will be ignored. It's just
And our Monday shows, we're booking a lot, but if anybody wants to come on, message us, please, or if you message me, preferably.
Yeah.
I've got his calendar.
Yeah.
But, if you could send us a message or even text us or, whatever. But we can fit you in because we're in the end of January, beginning of February now.
Yeah, it just kind of just blew up. We went from we had a bunch lined up, but with our new format that's coming, our new brand with Matt Cronin, who is our producer and editor, is redoing the YouTube, the Instagram, the My Page, My Fight or War page, the TikTok. I mean, he's redoing everything, and he's going to be posting. We are going to be dropping shows once a week, starting. We're going to be going to New York and Connecticut, November 1st through the 4th, and we're going to be doing, I think it's 8 shows,
8 or 10, depending.
between 8 to 10 shows in 3 days. And what Matt's going to do is he's going to produce and edit all those shows, and we're still talking about a day, but I'm guessing maybe Thursday. That we may either Thursday or Friday. I'll talk to Matt, and every Thursday or Friday we are going to drop a show. Like let's say it's not written in stone yet, but like every Thursday, 7:30. My Fight or War will drop a show that's been pre-recorded and produced and edited by Matt, and And every Monday, we are still going to be doing the lives, just like now, just like today with Tyler. And we've got everyone that we're scheduling. And we had about 5, 6, 7 people already, but we had to kind of put everything on hold because of the new transition over to the new brand.
But I reach out to you. You know who you are.
Yes, you are not being ignored.
Can I announce next week?
And yes,
So next week we got Trish Gibson coming on.
Trish, I saw your name.
I don't know if you're still here, Tricia, but we're looking forward to you.
Yes, Trish will be here next Monday at what time?
7 p.m.
That's why I don't.
7 p.m.
Okay, here's my job. I sit here, I talk into this thing, I look into that thing, and I try to be entertaining.
And I live in his brain.
And she's just like,
take it up.
what time? I'm like, okay, 7-ish? 7:30? Yeah, no. It's like, well, what? And then, of course, don't forget this Wednesday, which is usually Music and Mayhem with myself and Skylar Ray, is not going to be this Wednesday. Instead, it's going to be this Thursday at
8 o'clock.
I was going to say 7:30.
Yeah.
So this Thursday.
Well, Music and Mayhem, October 24th. Oh, you know what? I have to apologize. 7:30. You are right. Oh my goodness. Okay.
So this Thursday.
Sometimes I get it right.
This Thursday, 7:30 Eastern.
Yes.
Music and Mayhem with myself and Skylar Ray.
Yeah, who was on here for a little bit.
We are going to be, we have a lot to talk about with Skylar. His a huge someone that he has been really a fan of for a long time is Eminem. And he got to go to Houston to see him.
first row.
Not just
ticket.
see him, he was like front and center, man. And yeah, I've talked to him, I've seen some of the pictures,
Oh, yeah.
and to say that he's glowing is
Yeah.
an understatement. I'm so happy for Skylar. You know, we've only known each other for
Month?
a little over a month or so, and it's like we've known each other forever.
Mhm.
I tell you, I love the guy to death, man. He's my brother.
And pound cake.
Kayla, pound cake. This family continues to grow. The relationships continue to grow.
Mhm.
And the thing is, it goes from just like this.
Mhm.
This is how it started with Skylar. I invited him to be a guest on the show. You know, within a day or so, bam, he replied. We talked for about a half hour before going on the show, and it was just like from the minute we said, that we said hello until the show started, it was just nonstop.
I look, Skylar and Tyler. They got
Yeah, and
and
she's sitting there, she's like, "How long have you guys known each other?"
yeah,
And she goes, "You guys just
a half hour.
So we talked for a half hour before the show, and then we did an hour and a half show, and then we talked for another half hour to 45 minutes after the show, but it was just like non-stop intense energy back and forth about this, that, our beliefs, his beliefs, things that, you know, the vision that I have for what I want in my fight or war, just different things that he sees. And it was just like meshing together.
Mhm.
And we were like, man, we got to come on again and do this. And then doing another show came up. And next thing you know, it's like, we need to do our own show. And what we are also doing is we're going to be starting our own page. We're going to have our own Music and Mayhem page. And Skylar's going to be, I don't know if he knows this yet, but in charge of that.
Yeah.
Because we see my IT skills and my stuff like that. So, Skylar,
Yeah.
that's on you,
But
brother.
anyway, Thursday, 7:30.
So, but yeah,
And
after
then
all that,
next Tuesday, 7 p.m.
next Tuesday.
Next Monday.
Monday. Oh, wait a minute. I thought you were talking about Skylar.
Skylar's Thursday.
She's part
Monday's
of
Trisha.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's
Follow.
a recap here. This Wednesday is usually Music and Mayhem, and it's not going to be this Wednesday. It will be this Thursday at
7:30.
7:30 p.m. Eastern time with myself and Skylar Ray with Music and Mayhem.
Mhm.
God knows what's going to be happening
Over the weekend.
before then, after then, and on the weekend. Monday, we have Trisha.
Yeah.
Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time will be our guest. Really looking forward to
Talking to
Trisha's story. And the following Wednesday is Music and Mayhem. And it's also a national holiday. I'm not sure if you people realize what Wednesday,
October
30th is Music and Mayhem. And yes, it is. It's
Ta-da!
my birthday.
Yay.
Just like it's my birthday month.
We celebrate
But-
every day.
There's someone else who's having a birthday in October. And
Mhm.
shit, I got it written down here.
Yeah,
somewhere.
find it on your paper.
Oh,
Yeah,
OG.
yeah.
Her birthday is in
October
October.
29th.
It's the 29th.
Mine's the 29th. This is the
Hers is
30th.
Tuesday. Mine is Wednesday.
Oh, no.
Gee.
Middle of the week.
And I'm a devil's like baby. There you go.
Mhm.
So we will be celebrating. We can celebrate.
Daily.
Shit.
Do another pen?
No, I can top it down. No, I can't. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to talking to Skylar about his experience in the show. And he also, while he was there to enjoy the show, they booked him for another show in Houston. I think it's November the 11th. I think we'll confirm that on Thursday, and then we're also going to go over. We'll recap some of the stuff as far as our show, what we're going to be doing. And then I know with the start of his next tour and all that, as far as getting active, doing that as well. So we're going to be traveling to some of the dates where we don't know yet. Again, this 1st of November, we'll be to New York and Connecticut. And then in June, we'll be flying to Athens, Alabama with Lori and Boston and all of our Alabama friends. So a lot of great things are happening and really looking forward to sharing a lot of the things when we get back from New York. The 5th we'll be back. 4th. So
flying
we'll
in
be back in the 4th. Yeah.
Coming back.
But looking forward to sharing a lot of that because there's a lot of things that are scheduled as far as besides the guests that we're going to be doing in New York is a lot of stuff that we're working behind the scenes that really looking forward to telling you as well. So lots of fun, lots of surprises.
It's coming up.
And as always, man, I love you guys and thank you so much for your support. It means the world. You're helping so many people. Your kind words, your motivation, your support, and just letting people know that just like we said, addiction is not a freaking death sentence, and you are never alone. That first step, put the egos away. Take it. We're here. There's like I said, with My Fight Our War, that's our name, but we have an extended family and it goes all around the world. So you guys have a great evening. Thank you for sharing some time with us. OG, you got anything before we leave?
Just have a beautiful night, and we'll see you Thursday. Skylar, okay? You music and mayhem. Don't look at me like that. Tone of voice.
All right. Have a good night, guys. And as always, man, keep fighting the good fight.